Hello and welcome. Today we are in Florida, in the Patrick's Space Force Base next to the Kennedy Space Center launch complex. And we are going to do a patrol before the Polaris Dawn expedition starts. I am going to talk about this expedition a bit more during the flight. And today we are in something interesting. Today I have chosen to go with a helicopter. This is not quite often that you see helicopter on my channel, and that is because I don't really know how to fly helicopters properly. But just from that we can try flying. I have some prior experience with this helicopter, and I've made some significant improvements to my helicopter piloting skills. Alright, so let's turn on the batteries and let's turn on the position lights as well as anti-collision lights. There is no need for pitot heater. Currently weather outside is pretty good, as you can see. It's sunny. So let me just close the doors, turn off the rotor brake, and now let's wait for the aircraft, for the avionics to start. So what are we talking about? Polaris Dawn is a SpaceX expedition, and they are focused on making the first extravehicular activity in space in a commercial genre. This means that this is the first commercial mission where the crew is going to be able to get out from the rocket and perform a space walk. They are also aiming for quite a high altitude flight. This is going to be 700 kilometers. This is the highest that any commercial mission has ever got. And also they are going to test they are going to be the first mission to test the Starlink communication system, which is quite interesting in my opinion. Okay, let's turn on the generators, let's turn on the fuel valves, fuel prime, and now we can start the engines. So area is clear, nobody is here, parking brakes are in. Let's just enable fuel and let's start the engine number 1. Engine number 1 is starting, there we go, and we can cancel out the master caution. What else? The scheduled departure is at August 27th, and I am recording this currently on August 24th on Saturday, and the departure is gonna be on Tuesday. And I won't be able to see this departure on any live stream, sadly. So today the plan for this mission is to make a patrol around the complex. This is 39 Alpha launch complex, in order to make sure that there are no vehicles or boats around it. And if there are boats around it, we'll try to get them out by performing some maneuvers. As well as I have planned to make a couple interesting maneuvers, whereas we are going to slow down the helicopter to a complete stop in a matter of minutes, or seconds actually, I should say. Alright, so we are pretty much good to go. As you can see, the engines have started. I need to increase the RPM and the rotor in just a second, because the takeoff in this helicopter happens at around 10,000 RPM, so in just a second. But before we do that, let's make sure we have all of those on. Okay, let's turn on the inventors. Alright, and now we can turn off the fuel prime. Yeah, we have warning about RPM and brakes, but that's not important. So let me release the parking brake and you'll see some magic with this helicopter. So this helicopter is actually capable of taxiing quite fast, if you ask me. So I will apply some brakes. I just wanted to move out from the area of this building right here, and from this small vehicle. So we'll fly forward towards this Boeing C-17, just right to our right. Okay, now let's increase the RPM and let's move the throttle. I'm gonna engage parking brakes, and as you can see, there is 10,000 RPM. I'm gonna put my foot on brakes, release the parking brake, and now I can slowly rotate. Okay. Alright. And we are in the air. I'm gonna put the landing gear up, because this helicopter has landing gear, which is quite interesting. We have a warning about landing gear not being deployed, but that is fine. This airspace looks quite cool. There are some HC-130 Herculeses here. I'm gonna turn around, just like that, and let's start flying towards the complex. And if you are actually lucky enough during departure of some rockets, you can actually find quite interesting NASA vehicles flying around the launch complex on flight radar. Most of them are available there, apart from like military operations, because after all, space is still a military operation. This is still military base, and generally speaking, the public is not quite welcomed above the any bigger water things around the launch complexes, you know, because of safety and because of any potential spies. Space technology is also a part of military. It's slowly being pushed to the commercial available services, but as of now I don't necessarily think that this is as available as aviation, for example. And also, whenever you are testing some rockets, maybe not with the Falcon 9 rocket, which is going to take the Polaris Dawn to the orbit, some experimental rockets may pose a threat to the public safety in case they fail or explode. So this is also a safety hazard for people around the launch complex. So currently we are flying northbound to the Space Center, and what are we passing on the left is, I believe, still to be the Patrick's Air Force Base. I am not 100% sure about that. And I've read some things about the Patrick's Space Base. It was first changed into the Space Force Base in 1948, I believe, and they've been operating ever since. There's around like 11,000 people stationed there, which is quite a lot for an Air Force Base. This is the closest Air Force Base located to the Kennedy Space Center facility. There is another airport which is located a bit more to the west, and this is the closest commercial airport to the Kennedy Space Center, which is also quite interesting. Okay, so as you can see, there are no boats here. We are cruising at around 150 knots. This is quite a lot. And on our left we can slowly see some buildings that resemble something like a vehicle assembly building. But I don't think it is necessarily the VIB yet. This can be some magazines, as you can see there, some hangars, but I feel like the Kennedy Space Center complex is a bit more to the north over there. I've been to Kennedy Space Center complex before, and I must admit this is something that, if you're interested in space or aviation just a little bit, or if you're not interested in them, you should go visit them if you're in Florida. It's quite interesting place. It serves the purpose of a museum where you can actually see rockets, real life rockets. This is quite interesting. And also, if you choose to opt in for to see the Saturn V rocket, which took people to the moon, you will have an opportunity to see the vehicle assembly building, which is the big cube in the Kennedy Space Center. And it's quite cool to have a bus ride through this base, this Air Force base, because this is still a military base. Okay, what we can see here is quite interesting. I'll have to get closer to it to verify this information, but I believe this over there could be the SpaceX landing facilities. SpaceX currently has 2 landing facilities, or are they a bit to the more to the north? I believe they are more to the north because this is the shuttle landing facility. So I have no clue what that rocket over there is. So let's make a low pass over the shuttle landing facility, shall we? Yes, why not? Okay. I'm gonna try to turn the helicopter like an airplane. I don't feel like this is going to work in such a sharp turn. Nope. Let's slow down. Right, let's descend a bit. There we go. And this is what I was hoping for. Okay. We are flying actually quite fast here, and this is one of the longest runways. I believe it is 12,000 feet or 15,000 feet. It's very long because space shuttles did not have brakes, and they used something which resembles a parachute to slow down. I believe it was called a drag chute or something like that. Quite interesting, to be honest. And now we are getting here to the Kennedy Space Center facilities. This is probably the complex, the visitor complex, I believe, because it is located in quite close proximity. And now we can go onto the Cape Canaveral to see the vehicle assembly building, which is appearing over there. We are going to hover next to it, and I'm going to explain a couple things about it. No, what we flew over was not a shuttle landing facility. My mistake. This was some other runway here. But it's not a big deal. We are going to make a low flyover above the shuttle landing facility as well. I'm trying to pick up some speed currently. Weather is in our favor right now. There are literally no winds. Just some scattered clouds very high above, some cirrus clouds. Okay, and we've got some cool speed, around 150 knots. And there is the 39A launch complex, where we are going to witness the Polaris Dawn departure. This is gonna be amazing. I hope everything goes well. And also this video, which you're watching right now, is scheduled, so if something changes, I'm not going to change the date of release of this vehicle, of this video. So you're going to see it on August 27th. And we are getting closer to the VIB. What if we just touch down next to it? This is not a bad idea. And what is this open space here? I have no clue. A visitor complex is probably somewhere there, or there, probably, because I recall going on this highway in a bus. As I said, I went to the Apollo 11, the Saturn V complex as well, and we drove there by the bus next to the vehicle assembly building. which is right here. So, as the name suggests, it is used to assemble vehicles such as rockets. This is currently the biggest building in the in volume inside, which is quite cool, and it is very well. It is very well modeled here in this mod, which I have downloaded. Link is in the description for it. Let's try to hover next to it. Yeah, I'm not the greatest outside. I am not the greatest at piloting helicopter in the outside view, to be honest. Okay, let's try to slow down, and we'll slowly turn around. Right. And here is the so-called crawler. This vehicle is used to move rockets from here, from the vehicle assembly building, through these giant doors. Those are doors, actually, on this road right here. Oh. Yes, right here. This is like a very huge road. It's quite flat here. And this crawler moves at about 5 miles per hour, I believe, or even less. It moves the rockets over to the launch sites. So let's get to the 39B and 39A. How can you extinguish them in the flight simulator? There is a very simple way. Basically, the launch complex 39A is on the north and 39B is on the south. So if you have a look, over here we have the 39B with, I believe this is a Falcon Heavy models next to it. Let's have a look over there. And as you can see, the 39B is used by SpaceX, judged by this building right here. I'm gonna try to slow down. Let's you make a footing maneuver. Alright. All good. There we go. And we have stopped. Let's now turn to the left. And yes, this is the Falcon Heavy, modeled next to the 39B launch complex. Crazy. Crazy to look. And we are breaking real life procedures because helicopters don't fly this close to the rocket. Alright, so let's be careful of this water tower here, and let's fly over to the 39B complex. Maybe let's do it slowly. I don't want to do this footing maneuver yet, just again, because I am not very good at it. Basically, footing maneuver is that you push your collective down, you pull on the nose, and the helicopter is gonna climb up. And the thing which I'm doing wrong is I just don't give enough power, or don't take enough power, and I end up skyrocketing, just going up quite rapidly. Which is a shame, but in some time I will learn how to do it. So this is the 39A launch complex, I believe, if I am not mistaken. And currently it has no crawler underneath the rocket, and there's no rocket on top of it. So now let's try to land somewhere here to conclude today's sightseeing video. Let's deploy the landing gear. Let's be careful not to crash into those towers. That would be quite a shame. I have really no clue what those towers do. but if you know, let me know down in the comments. I'm actually quite interested in what they are doing. Okay, let's try to land somewhere here. Alright. I'm gonna try to slow down once again without doing any rapid moves. And since this is this helicopter has landing gear, we can actually use this to our advantage. So I can still have some forward rolling momentum while touching down. Oh, this was rough. This was a very rough touchdown. But at least we made it onto the ground. I'm gonna try to park it over here. Let's reduce the throttle in a second. Okay. Let's put the landing gear down, the parking brakes down, and let's consider the master warning and let's turn off this aircraft. Fuel out. Will it be possible? I don't think I can overwrite it. Alright, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this short trip around the Kennedy Space Complex, and I will catch you in another video. See ya!